Ignorant Bliss, quick hit. Y'all be prepared. There's spoilers in this. I'm talking all about the movie. So if you don't want to know nothing, you should probably just quit right now. Okay, guys. So I saw this film, Wind River. It's starring Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. As some more pop culture people now know them as Hawkeye and the Scarlet Witch. And I like to call Elizabeth Olsen the dope Olsen twin, even though she's not a twin. But she clearly makes all the best movies. This is written directed by Taylor Sheridan. He also wrote Sicario and Hella High Water. Those two films are fucking fantastic. So what we have here is basically Jeremy Renner plays a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service agent named Corey Lambert. He ends up discovering a body out in the wilderness, in the Wind River Indian Reservation, of a young woman he knew. From that, the FBI sends a young agent by the name of Jane, who played by Elizabeth Olsen, but she really ain't she don't know nothing about this hard winter life up in Wyoming, on the reservation. So she asks Corey for help, along with working with the reservation, the Indian Affairs, I guess, police, as they try to solve this murder, this rape and murder, or this body. This ain't a feel-good film, but it doesn't feel like torture. It's also essentially a solid procedural, like, investigating the case, knocking on doors, that type of stuff. Bad guys getting dealt with, shootouts. It feels very much in tone of his last two films that he wrote, which were Sicario and Hella High Water. I'll say that Elizabeth Olsen feels like the character Emily Blunt played in Sicario, while Renner's character feels like all the main characters in Hella High Water. It very, very much feels like a modern Western, just like Hella High Water did. And you could probably think back in a lot of ways, Sicario is kind of a Westernish too. It's not super amazing, but it's really good. I did feel some type of way about Jeremy Renner's character being this super duper wise cowboy guy, to the point that he's literally dishing out wisdom to everybody. This is one of the only movies where you see like the white guy dishing out wisdom to like the Native American people. But he's not seen as this great saint by everybody. Like, he gets called out for being like this white dude who, married a Native American woman. And now you think you can just be all up in here. But it's basically, he plays a character that lost a child, and then he basically sees a kid he knows die. That was his the spoiler. That is essentially was his dead daughter's best friend. Now she's dead, so he's on this low key mission to like find these people that killed her for her parents. Like, this shit got to be solved because he couldn't do nothing to solve what happened to his kid. And he's balanced out with Elizabeth Olsen's character. I wouldn't say she's green. She's just really not used to the setting she's in. Especially, this isn't like a regular case. It deals with, Native American land, Native American rights on their land versus what the government can and can't do. And to just say, John Bernthal has a surprise cameo in this. Um, I think the Native American characters were handled well, and I think they were all Native American actors because a lot of them I've seen before. Uh, I want to be sure. There's a couple that I'm not sure about, but I think they were handled well, especially they kind of dealing with the grief and also just being police officers and such. And you know, there's a lot of terrible white male characters in here. Um, yeah, this is totally worth seeing. It's worth seeing in theaters. I would totally. You don't need to see this on a super huge screen, like, but if you got a good art house theater, it's definitely worth going to watch. Uh, I don't know if he planned a type of thematic trilogy, but he has one now. Unless he continues to make these badass westerns in these modern settings. Um, yeah, it's really worth it. Some really good action sequences. Yeah, I don't know. I was acting, but like gun shooting sequences. Interesting play with the camera a little bit in terms of that. It didn't totally work at this one point. But Elizabeth Olsen getting in the shootout and then she got like maced in the face and he tried to do things with the camera. They made it show like how she can see, and I think this might be one of his first major directing. Sheridan's directing, and he gave it a shot. So I like risk taking. It didn't totally work, but it worked enough to continue the movie and you get what he was going for. Performances are great. Don't know why Jeremy Renner gets shit on for and other things. I'm guessing geeks got too much power. Talking about Hawk got too goddamn much, even though Jeremy Renner be killing it in regular movies. It's totally worth it. High praise for this movie. It's a good summer thing, something to watch, I guess, as we go into award season, festival season to find out what's gonna hit in the late part of the year. Because right now August seeming real weak. So that's my thoughts. Give it like a solid B. 4 out of 5 stars. All right, guys. That's what I think. So, ignorantbliss.com, ignorant-bliss.com is where you can check out my main podcast. This is on iTunes. That's on iTunes. Just search Ignorant Bliss. Or I should basically just say Apple Podcast now. I like to be fancy. Twitter is IGBL Podcast. Ignorant Bliss Podcast. On Facebook, Ignorant Bliss Podcast at gmail.com. If you want to contact me, talk to the show, you can comment on this as well. I'm at Julian Lytle, LYTLE, on all social media. So, hope you enjoyed. Deuce.